South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sports book and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here from the studios of South Point, the South Point studios at the South Point Hotel and, of course, casino complex here in Las Vegas on the fabulous Las Vegas Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard. We welcome you to the show. It's already been busy here today. Racing a half a world away in the Saudi Cup and, of course, at the King Abdul Aziz racecourse in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And it's the big Saudi Cup day of racing there. They've already gone through 5 races. The 5th race just ran, the Riyadh Dirt Sprint. And John Lindo will be with us in just a minute or two to tell you about the results of those races as we move forward to the Saudi Cup that will be run at 9:40 a.m. Pacific time. You can bet here at the South Point. They've been betting. The crowd's been here already. They've been betting the races since 5 o'clock this morning when the first of the bettable races went off at about 5:15. But as John Lindo told me when I came into the building, he said, Ralph, they're dragging post times in Saudi Arabia, so we'll wait and see how far they go before they get to the Saudi Cup, which is scheduled to go at 9:40. Don't think that's going to happen, but it'll be this morning, that's for sure. And that's how we start off this Saturday Race Day Las Vegas radio program. And, of course, we're at the YouTube South Point Studios location there. Just go to YouTube, hit South Point Studios. You'll get us. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. You can see, you can watch and listen to us there. And, of course, our anchor station here in Las Vegas for radio is at Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM here in Las Vegas, and then a whole bunch of other platforms like our websites, racedaylasvegas.com.vegas.world.global, iPhone or Android with the KSHP app that you can put on so you can hear us on your devices, and certainly many different places that you can get us of course, podcasting as well. So however, wherever, whenever, welcome to the Saturday Race Day Show, and the action has already started back here in the States. We're going to be looking at Hot Springs, Arkansas for the big racing card there, and the Rebel Stakes holding 50 points for the Kentucky Derby Future Book leaderboard, and, of course, the Honeybee, which will hold 50 points for the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard as well. A great card at Oaklawn Park, and I got to tell you, folks, it looks like the weather is going to be good all over the place. It was yesterday. For the first time, John Lindo was telling me in a long time, he said for the first time, the tracks were fast and great all over the country. I think we're going to have that same thing today here in Las Vegas. The sun is already shining. 48 degrees. We're going to get up to 67 today. And that's just setting the table for a big race day show and a big day of racing across the country. Now let me bring in our cohort here who's in studio with us. John Lindo, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. Already a busy day, and we're just getting started.
It's like afternoon to you. You've been here since they started the races at Saudi.
Well, when the windows are open, I'll show up.
All right, so give us a little look at what has happened so far. I understand there's been now 5 races out of the 9 already conducted. And, we are looking at, of course, the American horses for the Saudi Derby and the Riyadh Dirt Sprint. So what's been happening over there?
Well, just to recap what just happened, it's unofficial yet, but the Riyadh Dirt Sprint was just run. The favorite was number 9, Skelly, from Steve Asmussen, coming in from Oaklawn Park. Had the lead till about the deep stretch, and the Japanese horse, Remake, nailed him in the last 50 yards. Again, they're just unofficial yet, but Remake, who was taking a lot of wagering action, it looks like the unofficial winner of the Riyadh Dirt Sprint. Skelly was second there, so a Japanese horse there, and some other results earlier on. Then wherever you want to go, I've got them.
Yeah, well, John, you talk about the Japanese horses, and Jonathan Hardoon and yourself were talking about, and so was I, that these Japanese horses have really gone way up since the days when they were well-beaten horses around the world. They've been taking big races around the world, Breeders' Cup and in Saudi and in Dubai, etc. And, give me the results of the Saudi Derby then.
The Saudi Derby won as race number 4, and the American horses ran well, but the Japanese horse, Forever Young, who had to be 7 or 8 wide every step of the way, he didn't change leads, and he just kind of kept grinding. He never looked like he was going to get there, but he ran down the New Jersey bred Bookham Dano, who's by a Florida stallion, Bucaro, who's now standing in New York.
Yeah.
So you've got a Florida stallion, a New York bred, and he got nailed right on the money. The third-place finisher from Gulfstream Park, Ben Tornado. So the American horses ran well, but the Japanese horse, who had all the billing, he was 4 to 5 when the wagering was done. Forever Young gets the money there, and his next goal is supposed to be the UAE Derby on Dubai World Cup night.
Well, we know that Jonathan Hardoon, a couple of days ago, I asked him to give me a look at the Saudi Derby and Saudi Cup, because we knew that by the time we got to him for Saturday, they would have already run at least one of the 2 races, and that he picked the Japanese horse Forever Young in that race. And he also picked the Japanese horse for the Saudi Cup. We'll get him on in a few minutes. But I can tell you this, I'm not judging how they ride, but I got here just in time to see that race. And this horse was wide. The jockey bounced in the saddle a couple of times going into the turn. I don't know if he lost his balance or whatever. And then, as they say in America, this horse could have stopped by the hot dog stand on at the top of the stretch, because he went wide, and he got up just in time. So I would think that if you had to put a slogan onto this description, one-sentence description, a couple of words of this race on the chart, it would be much the best.
And I don't have the official time, but I was hearing on the broadcast that the Saudi Derby mile was running 2 seconds faster than any other previous Saudi Derby. So obviously either the track is pretty quick or that was a pretty good field. So we'll see how that plays out as the card goes along.
We'll see where these horses go next. Of course, no Kentucky Derby points for that race, but still it was and by the way, it was a $1.5 million race. $1.5 million, so that wasn't too shabby either. A quick look, there were 3 races before that. Just give us a quick result of each.
Well, there was a stakes race to open the card, and number 12, Al Jamani, won that race with Christian Tomorrow aboard, $77.80 for that winner.
Oops.
There was Arabian race was the second race, and a horse number 2, Asfan Al Khaladia, that's the best I can do, was the winner at $3.10, so a prohibitive favorite. And the third race, the International Turf Handicap, was won by number 7, King Shalah, 44.60. Interesting in here, Jimmy Jerkins, who went over from New York to train in Saudi Arabia. He ran second with number 3, My Frankel, and fourth with number 1, Finest Sound. So some American representation there by Jimmy Jerkins.
And by the way, that Arabian stakes race, a $2 million Grade 1 Arabian race, and of course with the winner paying $3.10, I would imagine that he's probably the best Arabian bred horse in the world right now.
I'm guessing that he's going to do okay wherever he wants to go.
Yeah, okay. Now, we have the turf sprint coming up next at 6 3/4 furlongs.
6 3/4, yeah. I don't know what the turf configuration.
I have no idea. Okay, so that's what that is. And then we'll have the turf cup. That's a 1 5/16 on the grass, of course. And the 8th race will be the Red Sea Handicap, also on the turf for 4-year-olds and up at 1 7/8. That's going to be a marathon. And then the main event, the Saudi Cup at 1 1/8 back on their main track. That'll be the 9th race. Those are the races left to go at Saudi Arabia. Now getting a little bit closer to America and some of the things that happened yesterday at Aqueduct. We want to thank Jonathan Hardoon a lot. He gave us the winner of the 4th race, and Mary Gaglioso with Ruben Silveira aboard, paying $8.90. Thank you very much there, Jonathan. The pick 6, by the way, at Aqueduct paid $22,486.16. And by the way, nobody, I don't think anybody had a double yesterday at Aqueduct. Okay, then we go to Oaklawn Park. Check this out, folks. Oaklawn Park. How about the 3rd race? The winner paid $124.40. Stand by. Comes back in the 4th race. That winner pays $116.20. That was part of the early pick 4 and early pick 5. Here's the deal at Oaklawn. When you don't have 5 out of 5 in the pick 5, when you don't have 4 out of 4 in the pick 4, it doesn't carry over. They pay the next best tickets. So the pick 4, 3 out of 4 in that paid $928.40. 4 out of 5 in the pick 5 paid $4,749. And the pure pick 3 of those 3 combinations paid $10,565.20. What a day yesterday at Oaklawn. Christian Torres had a couple of winners. He came with a $20 winner in the last race. Gulfstream Park yesterday, Paco Lopez rips off 3 wins in a row. He wins the 3rd, 4th, and 5th races. And the estimated pool for today in the Rainbow Pick 6 looks about $550,000. 6 out of 6 yesterday paid $4,471.74. And back out at Santa Anita yesterday, well, I'll tell you. The 8th race winner, Iris Walney, paid $23.20 for giving Tyler Bays his 2nd win of the day. That was the highest priced winner by about $1 because the last race winner placed first through a disqualification, went to barely functional. That paid $22.20 in a kind of a ticky-tap disqualification there. John, what did you think about that last race DQ?
The original winner, barely functional, was in tight along the fence, kind of snuck through, and things got tightened up for the first 4 finishers. I thought it was fine to leave it as is. They disqualified the winner, placed the horse 2nd. I thought if you're going to take that horse down, the horse that ended up running 4th was beaten a nose for 3rd. Maybe that cost that horse a placing. Yeah. If you're going to take anybody down, you put it down to 4th. So I didn't get the disqualification. It was a tough call because they were racing in tight, and but it is what it is.
It is what it is, that's for sure. And the good thing about that last race with all that confusion is the pick that you had was scratched. So
I had no action.
No harm, no foul there. And by the way, Jonathan Nardoon with that winner at Aqueduct, he had a nice 2nd place finisher in the 4th race at Santa Anita yesterday. So he's seeing the ball well, and we're going to get him on right after this first break. We got John Lindo in studio, Jonathan Hardoon standing by, of course, Rich Ang and Jerry J along with us as well. Right after the first break, we'll give you your racing menu, set you up for the day, and then we'll start discussing some of the stuff that might be happening today at Oaklawn Park. So don't go away. Busy show on this Saturday. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas, and of course, busy day going on out there. John, just a quick check of what's going on at the Saudi Cup Day of Racing over at Dubai, Saudi, not Dubai, but in
Riyadh, yeah.
Riyadh, yeah. Next race coming up is the turf sprint. How many minutes?
We've got on the board there. It says, what is it, about 10 minutes or so? But they're falling behind, so it'd be, take the overs.
Okay, we'll take the over, and hopefully we can get maybe that race in before we end. Let's go to the racing menu for today here in the good old contiguous 48 here and of course, these will be the first post times on this racing menu that roll out here in Las Vegas. We are in the Pacific time zone, so remember, if you're in any other time zone listening to us on the multitude of other platforms that we have, just adjust the post time to wherever you're at from the Pacific time zone. These first post times are Pacific. And I want to remind everybody again that these are the first post times we'll be rolling out in our race books here in Las Vegas today. So adjust it. I don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. Okay, here we go. Here's the menu for today. You already know that the racing in Saudi Arabia at the King Abdul Aziz Racecourse is already underway, so we got that running. All right, so Mahoning Valley is the first on the racing menu. Mahoning Valley has a Pick 6 jackpot carryover today of $19,230. Their first post time for 8 races is set at 9:05. Gulfstream Park will be next. 12 races today at Gulfstream. The $125,000 Gulfstream Park Sprint is their feature. At 6 furlongs, the 11th race on the card. 8-5 favorite there is Candyman Rocket with Jose Ortiz. And Gulfstream Park, as I say, had a carryover. The cash in the Pick 6 jackpot stands at $394,290. They expect the pot to get to around $550,000. First post time at Gulfstream for their 12 races set at 9:10. 9:10 first post time. And Candyman Rocket, again, the favorite in the Gulfstream Park Sprint. All right, Laurel Park is next. Laurel Park has 9 races, a couple of stakes races at Laurel. The $100,000 Wide Country Stakes for 3-year-old fillies at 7 furlongs is the 7th. In that race, the 5-2 favorite is Ronan Goddess. And the $100,000 Miracle Wood is the 8th at a mile for 3-year-olds, 11 before scratches there. Post-time favorite, the morning line favorite, don't know if it will be the post-time favorite, is Copper Tax at 3-1 in that race. 9 races today at Laurel Park. And a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $1,536. And again, first post time, 9:25 at Laurel. Tampa Bay Downs is next. They got 10 races, a couple $100,000 stakes races there as well. The 7th race is the Lightning City. 5 furlongs on the turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, 10 before scratches. 5-2 favorite there is Just a Care. And then you go to the $100,000 Leinster Turf Dash at 5 furlongs on the turf. 9 are entered there. And the 5-2 lukewarm favorite is Yes, I Am Free. And that is the 9th on the card. 10 races overall at Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay's first post time, they've got a super high 5 carryover, 6,406. They have a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of 10,438, and a first post time at Tampa Bay at 9:30. Then we get to Oak Lawn Park. Big day at Oak Lawn Park. It's the centerpiece here in the good old US of A. Oak Lawn Park has 12 races today, 4 stakes races in the row. They'll roll out like this. 8th race is the Carousel Stakes for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up at 6 furlongs. 9 go to the post there. 7-5 favorite is Zytolos, I guess. Zytolos. Tyler Gaffleone. Look, it's the 8 horse. That's all I know. You're laughing, Jonathan. Wait, I'm going to ask you for the pronunciation of this horse. The ninth race is the $400,000 Grade 3 Honeybee. This has got 50 Kentucky Oaks points up for grabs for 3-year-old fillies at a mile and 16th. 7-5 favorite there is West Omaha with Christian Torres aboard in the 10 filly field. Then the $600,000 Grade 3 Razorback Handicap, mile and 16th for the handicap division, 4-year-olds and up, a field of 13 before scratches. This is a good wide-open race. Morning line favorite is at 7-2, and that is Anti-Life Grande with Martin Garcia aboard there. All right, then we have next the big race of the day, the Grade 2 Rebel Stakes for 3-year-olds at a mile and 16th, holding 50 Kentucky Derby points on the leaderboard. The purse, just $1,250,000. 13 go to the post in this one, and the big favorite in that race, 6-5, is Timberlake with Christian Torres aboard. Christian Torres was stated as saying he's happy that all of his some of the jocks that usually ride these horses are in Saudi Arabia today riding big horses there, so he gets a chance on the main stage at Oaklawn Park. We'll wait and see what he does. First post time at Oaklawn for their 12 races is set at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. early post at Oaklawn. Aqueduct, the big A, is next, and at Aqueduct today, look at that. Track is fast. It'll be sunny and 43 degrees at Aqueduct today. And, of course, they have a pick six carryover there of $22,486.16, $22,486.16 at Aqueduct. Remember, they didn't hit it yesterday. 9 races today at Aqueduct. The feature there is the Haynesfield. That's a mile for 4-year-olds and up. It's the 8th race on the card. 7 go to the post. Maker's Candy is the 8-5 favorite with Jose Lascano. First post time at Aqueduct, 10:20 a.m. Fairgrounds has a couple of $100,000 Louisiana bred stakes races there, one for 3-year-old fillies and, of course, the other one for 3-year-olds. That'll be the 2 stakes races today at Fairgrounds. First post time at the Fairgrounds for their 10 races is at 10:45. They've got a regular pick six carryover, $8,163 at the Fairgrounds. And then next comes Sunland Park. They've got 9 quarter horse races at Sunland there today. All quarter horse racing going on at Sunland. And Sunland Park has a first post time there of 11:25. Then we go to Santa Anita. The Great Race Place has 10 races. Their feature races today is the Grade 3 Santa Ana at a mile and a quarter on the turf for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. It's the 7th race on the card. Looks like a good competitive race, too. The 5-2 lukewarm favorite is Linda's Gift with Tiago Piera aboard. First post time at Santa Anita today for their 10-race card is set at 12:30 at Santa Anita today. And then we go to Golden Gate, Northern California. 8 races there. First post time is at 12:45 at Golden Gate. Let's see, do they have any carryovers there at Golden Gate? I guess not. Okay. Then we go to Turfway Park. Turfway Park has 9 races. Their feature race today is the Wintergreen. A mile for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. 7th race on the card. 8-5 favorite is Flashy Gem. 2-1 second choice is Chop Chop. So it looks like a 2-horse battle in that one. And first post time at Turfway Park is set at 2:55. And then we go to Delta Downs. Delta Downs has 9 races there. First post time is 3:15. Charlestown has 8 races. Charlestown Races has a pick 6 jackpot carryover, $3,909. First post time 4 p.m. Hey, and then we wrap it up at Los Alamitos in Southern California. Los Al. They got 9 races, 2 thoroughbreds, 3 mixed breed, 4 quarter horse races, and their first post time is 6:15 at good old Los Alamitos with a pick 6 carryover of $28,535 there. What a full day of racing we got. A lot up for grabs, especially down there in the desert of Saudi Arabia. Now we go to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. All right, Jonathan, give me your prediction of the name of that horse.
I have no idea, but I like that horse also. So I was just going to say the 8 horse because I was having a hard time, and then I heard you having a hard time, so it made me laugh.
Well, that's okay.
Good morning, John.
Good morning. And that's Zeitlos, guys.
Oh, Zeitlos. John knows it. Zeitlos.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Zeitlos there. All right, listen, we're going to go over the races at Oaklawn, the 4 stakes races on the card. You have a thought about each one of them, so we'll take them in order. The Carousel will be the 8th race on the card at Oaklawn.
Yeah, and I landed, actually it looks like a 2-horse race. Mucho Macho Girl, the 7, and the 8, Zaitos, and I gave the edge to Zaitos because she has a win over the track, and it's important to either have a race over the track or work over the track, especially at Oaklawn, and it matters there. So the edge went to the 8, Zaltos.
Zeitlos, is that it, John?
Zeitlos is what I heard, yeah.
Zeitlos. But we'll just say the 8 horse wins the carousel, the 8th race. 8 in the 8th race. That's easy to remember. That one's easy to remember. Okay, the 9th race is the Honeybee. Now, this is for 3-year-old fillies at a mile and 16th. And, of course, this is holding 50 points for the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard here. Big favorite in the race is West Omaha at 7-5. Christian Torres gets a chance to ride this horse because the regular rider's in Saudi Arabia. So what's the deal here, Jonathan?
Well, this horse scratched out of the Rachel Alexandra last week to run in this spot. So they were pointing for this race all along. The horse is doing fine. She lays over the field on the figures. She's going to be 3-5, but deservedly so. She's just much better than these.
If you had a horse to try to make chicken soup out of chicken feathers, maybe an exacta, what would you punch with it?
Either the 1, Alley's Beach, or the 3, Honor Cat. Both of those horses are listed at big prices. Honor Cat makes a first start for trainer Robertino Diodoro, who has a tendency to move these kind of horses up, and at 15-1, I would use that horse probably underneath.
All right, you got it. Now, before we go to the Razorback, John Lindo, did you take a look at the Honeybee?
I did, and I agree with John Hardoon. I think West Omaha's a standout in there. I didn't like the prep race that most of the contenders had at Oaklawn Park. I would take a stand against those horses coming out of that stakes prep there at Oaklawn.
Okay, so we got West Omaha, maybe a free bingo square in the late pick 4, pick 5, and all stakes pick thing there. All right, coming up next is the 10th race, the $600,000 Grade 3 Razorback Handicap, mile and 16th for 4-year-olds and up. Now, we got a field of 13. I haven't got any of the late scratches yet at Oaklawn. I'll check while you guys are going over it. And how do you see this Razorback, Jonathan?
I like the 3-horse in here, Speed Bias. This is a very tough race. It really is. You can make a case for a lot of horses. Speed Bias, I think, is going to be somewhat of a price. You know, he hasn't won in a while, but he's steady and he's consistent and he fires every time. And if he's really 6-1, that's the horse that I would play in here.
All right, you like the 3 Speed Bias in the race, and that's the 10th on the card. John, how do you see it?
I think there's a ton of early speed in here. I'm looking for somebody to come from off the pace to win this race. My first impression, maybe Magic Tap, sits a stalking trip, and from the rail sees the night ought to fall into a good spot right behind the speed. So I like the 8 and the 1, but it's a spread race. When you have a single like West Omaha, if you're playing the rolling bets, this is a spread race to stay alive in those rolling bets.
Well, I think that the next race, the 11th race, the $1,250,000 Grade 2 Rebel Stakes, part of course, the Arkansas Derby Series and holding 50 points for the Kentucky Derby leaderboard, at a mile and 16 for 3-year-olds, and 13 are entered. We have not gotten the late scratches there yet, but 13 are entered in that race. I think that although Timberlake is the big 6-5 favorite with Christian Torres aboard there, this might be a spread race. How do you see it, Jonathan?
Well, Timberlake's doing very well. He's coming off of a freshening, obviously they're looking towards the Derby. And if you're going to try to beat a horse like this, usually you try to beat him in his first race back, like they beat Fierceness a couple of weeks ago at Gulfstream. However, that being said, I just think that he really just towers over this group. The only horse that I gave a shot to beat him was the 11, Just Steel, who we liked actually last time. But I don't think Just Steel wants to go this far. And I think Timberlake really has them over a barrel here. He's going to be very tough to beat. He's going to be a short price. So you either watch the race or you single him.
Well, if you like I said, making chicken soup out of chicken feathers. The thing about it is, this is one of those race over race bets in the picks. You've got what Jonathan perceives to be 2 singletons around a race like the Razorback. That's a wide open race, and maybe the Carousel that you can go a couple of deep. So now you're looking at a doable ticket with a chance to get a long shot in on either side of these races. How do you see the Rebel, John?
Well, I thought Timberlake flattened out going 2 turns for the first time in the Breeders' Cup. I know it was a fast race, but he's never won around 2 turns yet. So he's the one to beat. I respect him, but like John said, this is the time you take a shot against a horse like this. He's got to prove he can go 2 turns. I'm going to take a shot with 2 bombs in here, and because I think one of the 2 is going to make the lead. I like number 13, Time for Truth. He ended up running in a sprint stakes here because of the time missed when the track was closed with the bad weather at Arkansas.
Sure.
He's got speed from post 13. You just go and put him on the lead and see how far he runs. He's 15-1 on the morning line. Mm-hmm. The other speed horse is number 1, Carbone, who maybe he didn't handle the mud last time he ran at Oaklawn. He gets back on dry land today. I think one of those two makes the lead. If they don't hook up, somebody could get brave in there. They're both 15-1. I'll use both of those to try and get lucky.
All right, you ready, guys? You know, I don't normally say too much of anything, but I've got a long shot in this race that I'm going to put in the gimmicks too, and that is number 9, Leganos. The 9 at 20-1 with Keith Asmussen aboard. I'm going to throw that horse into the gimmick, and at 20-1, even with Asmussen aboard, I think it's going to be a decent price, and if he hits the board with any of your horses, I'm going to make money.
Exactly. It's that kind of race, yeah.
All right, so we're all over the place on that one. And in any case, that is the Rebel Stakes today. It is outside of betting purposes, though. It's going to be nice to see how Timberlake is coming along, because I know this race, Jonathan, is not the race they circled on the calendar. Of course, it's the first Saturday in May, and of course, West Omaha, same thing with the race today. The first Friday in May is where they got that one circled as well. But it's going to be a hell of a day of racing at Oaklawn. A great card, don't you think, Jonathan?
Absolutely. You know, if it starts early and they give you some results in that place that leaves you shaking your head. I mean, yesterday.
Like yesterday, yeah.
Back to back. You know, it's kind of like the day version of Turfway Park, which runs at night, where every day they seem to have a $50,000 pick 5. Well, you kind of get the same kind of results at Oakland.
Well, we know one thing for sure. The weather's going to be nice there today, hopefully, and certainly there's going to be it's just going to be a fun day of racing at Oaklawn, that's for sure. And, of course, you got a full sheet at Oaklawn Park. I might add that as well. All right, Jonathan, off of that winner and a nice second-place finish at Aqueduct with your other pick yesterday. What do you say we and by the way, the horse at Aqueduct, how did that – well, never mind. In any case – give me some other picks if you got them.
All right, let's look at the 9th and final today at Aqueduct. It's 6 furlongs on the main track, and I love the number 11 horse in here, Sin Nombre. This is a 4-year-old gelding. Drew a line through his last race when he won a mile, and it was on a sloppy track. He didn't run well. However, today he cuts back to 6 furlongs. I like the rider switch to Dylan Davis. I like the 5-1 on the morning line. Number 11, Sin Nombre, wins today's 9th and final out at Aqueduct.
All right, Sin Nombre, Dylan Davis aboard there. By the way, a quick note, John Lindo, Katie Davis went over in the Jockey Challenge yesterday. A female won it, but it wasn't her.
No, the ladies did pretty well against guys like Arad Ortiz and Luis Saez, but Katie didn't hit the board there. Yeah. But what an experience for her.
I believe the gal from
the French girl.
French girl, yeah, yes. The French girl won it. I'll get her name in a minute, but that was.
And by the way, Katie Davis went there with her dad, Robbie Davis, who was a rider for many years in both New York and in California, I guess. But so that was a terrific experience. I saw her the other day on the backstretch at Belmont, and she was so excited to be going, and it's just a great story. I was really rooting for her, at least to hit the board, but didn't get lucky. But you need the right horses. So.
Well, I can tell you this: that it's an experience with her father that was a hell of a jockey during his time in New York. And I saw several tweets along the day with them having dinner together. And it's an experience and a memory these two will never forget. So, of and within that self, it was worth it, that's for sure. Again, your horse in the 9th race, number 11, Sin Nombre. The 11 is the key there. Your pick in the 9th at Aqueduct with brother Dylan Davis aboard there. All right, anything else?
Let's go to Santa Anita. Look at race 9, 6.5 furlongs down the hillside turf course. And number 6, King Apollo. This horse just has had rough trip after rough trip. He's never won down the hill, but he's going to turn it around today. He's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. Giovanni Franco aboard to ride. I like number 6, King Apollo, to win today's 9th race out at Santa Anita.
All right, folks, the 9th race, number 6, King Apollo, Jonathan Hardoon's pick at Santa Anita, 9th race at the 6. And don't forget, the guy did a whole lot of work yesterday. He's got 4 full sheets of handicapping for Santa Anita, for Gulfstream Park, for Oaklawn Park, and, of course, for Aqueduct, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and, of course, you can see on the screen right now where to get his sheets, but you can tell the folks on the radio
JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralph.
All right,
Talk to you
thanks.
tomorrow.
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll go get there. We'll go to the winner's circle. That's for sure. Thanks a lot, my man.
And Ralph, before you go to your break, we have an update on at Riyadh in that turf sprint, the 6 3/4 turf sprint. The winner, number 2, Anaf, went off at 16-1. Went from an outside post, got to the rail, came up the fence, and got the money. Number 13, Lala Christine, second. Number 5, Byline, third. That's an unofficial result.
Okay, so the 2, Anaft wins that, breaking from an outside post, but with saddlecloth and bet number 2. Number 2, Anaft is the winner there. And we'll be back right after this break with more from Riyadh, more from Las Vegas, and more from wherever else in the country that news is happening for horse racing. That's for sure, right here at the Anchor at the South Point Studios here in Las Vegas. Rich Yang is next, and of course we'll have Jerry Jackowitz along with us as well. Don't go away.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
All right, back on a busy Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Saturday morning. Now we're going to go out to Rich Yang standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Yeah, we got the horse racing morning, noon, and night today.
Some crazy results so far in Saudi Arabia. Of course, the big race yet to come. And, all you guys are picking a horse in the Saudi Cup. I'm going to come up with a horse, too. I don't normally do.
You know, with the Saudi Derby being so early in the morning, and in all candor, I advanced wagered on 2 Japanese horses, and I didn't even get to see the race. I heard your description, John, of the trip of the Forever Young. I wasn't real happy with the price, but I was happy he got up. He was one of the 2 horses I bet. And in the Saudi Cup, I advanced wagered on Lemon Pop, number 7. So I got one of them home. Let's see if I can get the other one home.
Oh, give me your take on Lemon Pop in the Saudi Cup then.
Well, you take a look at his record. No secret that he's one of the top horses out of Japan. He's won 10 out of 14. He's got the same jockey as who got the sightseeing trip with Forever Young. This kid, I don't know if I pronounced it right, Sakai. But hopefully he gets a little better trip with Lemon Pop. But you look 2 back. This horse won by 25 lengths and won the Group 1 Champion Cup. So this looks like one of the top horses maybe in the world. So let's see if I can get 6-1, which I kind of doubt, I'd be thrilled.
I can tell you one thing right now: the Japanese, you got to beware of them. It's almost like John with the Godolphin coming with horses in these big races on big days. These are connections now that you got to pay attention to. You just don't throw them away like you used to.
Well, the Japanese have figured out what they have to do to ship internationally, how to train, how to feed, whatever the medication rules are.
Sure.
They've figured it, and once you get that down and you know what kind of horses you need for those kind of places, they've got the ammunition now.
Yeah, you just get them fit, ready, and send them, and
let them rip.
Last thing is they're dependent on racing luck, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got your pick in the Saudi Cup, that's for sure, Richie. I know there's a full slate of college basketball this day as well, and of course we're getting close to the selection show and the conference playoffs, and then of course March Madness. So we'll be tapping you on the shoulder to give us an insight on all of that, because we'll be relying on you, as we did for the NFL, for that information. But just a quick thought of any basketball game today that you like or you're waiting to see.
You know what? I didn't look at the full slate. I was looking at horse left and right. In fact, I did do a deep dive into the Rebel Stakes at Oak Lawn, and I know Timberlake is going to be a very short price favorite, but a horse that I came up with that I'm going to put my 2 cents on is the number 1, Carbone, 15-1 in the morning line. I love the fact that this horse had 2 really big wins at short prices at Churchill and Oak Lawn Park. Looks like did not run a step in the Southwest over a muddy track, and I might be able to draw a line through that with a young horse who didn't like the wet surface. But if the horse gets a fast track today, draws the rail with a lot of speed, I think 15-1 is a lot of value on Carbone in the first.
And John Lindo agrees with you as well on there, so that's got to be one of the horses I rattle in with all of my boxes in that race for exactas at 15-1. And of course, Isaac Castillo is going to be riding that Carbone from the rail. And hey, the rail is the shortest way to the finish line, that's for sure. All right, so we got your pick in the Rebel, your thought there, your thought at the Saudi Cup, and I guess now we can get a pick at Santa Anita, because after all, you have a full handicapping sheet for Santa Anita right now at the RacedayLasVegas.com websites, as you do in Southern California every Southern California day. So what are we doing there?
Let's go to Santa Anita, race number 6. It's 7 furlongs, maiden special weight. I'm going to go with the number 3 horse, Yellow Brick, coming off a layoff for Richard Mandela, one of my favorite jockeys to bet on during the winter at Santa Anita. Kazushi Kimura rides. This horse should be a strong finisher on the cutback, puts the blinkers on. So 4-1 is the square price. Let's go with the 3. Yellow Brick off the layoff in the 6th.
All right, 6th race, number 3, Yellow Brick. The 3 in the 6th race at Santa Anita is Rich Ang's selection for us. And by the way, that race, John, is the race where that $1.5 million horse, Theismann, that's the name of the horse, Theismann,
right?
Son of Quality Road, is in that race. He's making his debut start now. This is for maidens 4 and 5 years old, so when asked about that, John Sheriff, his trainer, said, well, the horse has had several little bumps in the road getting to the races. So he's the one horse, and he's 8-1 on the morning line, so there's not a lot of respect for the big price they paid for him.
Well, he's trained okay, but, he's a 4-year-old debuting at a mile for a barn, John Sheriff, that's not known for really cranking horses up first time out. He likes to give them an experience and let them go forward. So, good and bad there, but the price tag, obviously he's going to be a good-looking horse when you see him in the paddock.
I'll bet you. He'll probably get the award for the best-looking horse on the racetrack, that's for sure. All right, so that'll be the 6th race. You get like a Yellow Brick in that race, Richie, and that is the 3-horse at 4-1 on the morning line. Don't forget, you can get Richie's full card handicapping for Santa Anita today right at the RacedayLasVegas.com website. Just go there and click Richie's icon. Hey, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Thanks, John. Good luck, everybody.
All right, we're going to wrap up this busy Saturday Race Day Las Vegas radio program with, of course, John Lindo in studio and Jerry Jackowitz yet to come. So don't go away. We still got some left. Don't go away.
South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, now you know that we'll be covering horse racing leading up to the Kentucky Derby, but there's a couple of great shows here every day here on the South Point Studios feed at YouTube that you gotta watch if you like sports, if you like entertainment, and if you like what's going on in Las Vegas. Absolute, you gotta watch. Now, of course, we're on 5 days a week, Wednesday to Sunday at 7 a.m., but also on the show, on the network, is Punchlines. Frank Nicotero, funny guy and a great guy and a knowledgeable guy, too. He has his show on here, on the network here, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday from noon to 1 o'clock. This is Pacific time now. And, of course, Sports by the Book. Vinny Miliulo, Chris Andrews, and all of the great handicappers, Mr. Parleys, and of course, Alex as well. A full slate of people who know what they're doing, and it'll give you an insight on. And boy, when you get to March Madness and all of those basketball games, you need these guys, and they're great and entertaining as well. They're on Monday to Friday from 3 to 4 p.m., and, of course, Saturday and Sunday, they'll be following us. We got to get out of the studio because they start at 8:30 to 10 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Must-see TV.
And great stories, too, Ralph. I love the stories by Vinny and all the guys, and you know it's all true.
Yes, because there's got to be over 150 years worth of bookmaking experience with those guys there. That's for sure.
Minimum.
Yeah.
They've been around a while.
Yeah. Well, we all have, I guess. Well, certainly me with them. All right, John. Before we get to Jerry Jackowitz, we'll take a thought that you have again on the Saudi Cup. In this race, the Saudi Cup, of course. Derma Sotogati, I think, is the horse that you liked.
No, I like I do like a Japanese horse. You see that theme kind of playing out again here.
Yeah.
But I like number 13, Ushpa Tesoro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had a good prep race over there, and I like the one-turn mile and eighth for him. He didn't get to show his best in the Breeders' Cup Classic at Santa Anita. He didn't break that day, and that was it. So I think maybe he gets overlooked just a little bit. But the way the Japanese horses are running, I know Rich Eng likes Lemon Pop. You have Derma Sotogaki that I think John Hardoon likes. So we're in the Japanese contingent, at least.
Yeah, John likes Derma Sotogati. He said that the other day. And, of course, we still got to wait for Jerry Jackowitz to check in on that. I'll give you my horse.
Who do you like?
Senor Buscador. I think today is the day where there's going to be enough speed up front that this poor horse that's been, closing well and getting pieces and pieces in big races like the Pegasus World Cup.
He's got a big, long stretch there in Riyadh.
I think he's going to get up today. I think Senor Buscador is going to get up. I'm certainly using him in my box in that race as well. And that, of course, will be in the Saudi Cup a little bit later on. But, John, no harm, no foul yesterday with your Santa Anita pick because they scratched that horse. And, of course, we got your thought about the Rebel Stakes. You like Carbone, correct?
I like, both the inside and outside, the Carbone and the 13 horse in there. That is time for truth because I think one of them is going to make the lead.
All right. Well, see, I got to tell you, folks, there's been a lot of really big plays, big, nice morning lines on a lot of these horses we've been talking about, that's for sure. And we're always trying to look for value. We'll go to Santa Anita now. I want to remind everybody out there that John Lindo's Lindo Report for today at Santa Anita features the entire Santa Anita card, of course, with selections, suggested late pick 4, and a suggested coast-to-coast pick 5. Don't forget about that. The coast-to-coast pick 5 features the 10th at Gulfstream, the 11th at Gulfstream, the 5th at Santa Anita, the 12th at Gulfstream, and the 7th at Santa Anita. That's the dollar coast-to-coast pick 5. And if you hit that thing, you're always going to get overpaid, it seems. They really do have good payoffs there. John's got a suggested coast-to-coast pick 5 as well there. So all in all, you can get that whole sheet, comprehensive as it is, right here at the South Point, but only at the South Point here in Las Vegas. This is the only place that got it, and it's free, complimentary to you, because after all, they love horse players here, and they love John Lindo's selection sheet as well, one of the best ones out there. And John, give us a horse that's not going to be scratched today.
8th race today at Santa Anita. We're going to try and beat the favorite, number 4, Judge Miller, who was a vet scratch January 27th, did not work between January 15th and February 12th and stretches out. So that's not a great pattern on a favorite. I'm going to go with number 6, Low Expectations, comes out of a Good effort when he went head-and-head with Flying Drummer, who's a pretty nice horse with Bob Baffert. From an outside post, he can make the lead or press. He's 10-1 on the program. He's the value of the race. Number 6, Low Expectations, race 8, Santa Anita.
All righty, and you've got 8th race at Santa Anita, number 6, Low Expectations, 10-1 on the morning line. Another good play. All we got to do is hit one or two of these things. We're going to make money today, that's for sure. And off the lender report in the 8th race, number 6. And again, the full lender report with a coast-to-coast pick 5, a suggestion there as well. Right here in the book, where all the folks are at now, in the book at the South Point, only here free of charge. Now let's go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Yes, it is.
Jerry, there you go. There you go. Adjust that camera. There you go, buddy. Okay, because we don't want to really see your ceiling fan. That's okay. In any case, I know that I asked you to do some work for the Saudi Cup, and you obliged. So let's get your thoughts about the Saudi Cup first.
Okay, so on form, the 2 horses that I like best were Derma Sotogake, the 4 horse, and National Treasure, the 9. And I actually like the 4 on National Treasure even a little bit better than I like. So at 8-1, he definitely, I really relate to him as a horse. The only thing about National Treasure is this race is like super packed with speed, and there's really no rating this horse off the lead. And with there only being one turn in the race, he's going to get close to a hot pace, if not be right on it. And that's got to be a little bit of a knock on him here today. If he had a little better situation on the front end, I would just key him and single him. But I don't have that. I feel like the form of the race sort of sets up for a closer. And Derma Sotogake, we see him in the Kentucky Derby running really nicely. Maybe was short at that point. Came back in November with no additional racing. Ran right behind White Abaria. Certainly showed his ability there. Again, we don't see racing. It's all on workouts. That's how Otashani, the trainer, does it. And, just on development, he figures to be right there in the form cycle. I have no reason to back off of him at 6-1. So I end up with the 4 and the 9, and I'm going to make a double key out of it. Where did I put that? Here we go. I'm going to double key it, probably in trifectas. It'll probably go something like this. The 4-9 over the 4, 7, 9, 12, 13, and 14. That's essentially 2 exacta bets. We don't really have to reverse them because we have 2 top horses. So the 4-9 over the 4, 7, 9, 12, 13, and 14. I might do it all in the last position. That would be 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 12, 120 combinations. If you have 50 cents, that's a $60 bet. It's essentially you have 2 really good exactas going. It's not a bad bet to make.
All right. Go ahead.
I was going to say the 4-9 over the 4, 7, 9, 12, 13, and 14.
Okay. And I'm not going to repeat that because there was a lot going on there, and I hope that everybody got that. But you, in essence, you like the 4 the 9 National Treasure and the 4 Derma Sotogake, right? As your key horses. Okay. Now,
and I want them to be at somewhere near the morning line. I don't want them to be down at 5-2 or anything.
Well, Jerry, we're betting into an American pool, and you got to think that National Treasure at 6-1 is ambitious, don't you? In an American pool.
I don't know. You're probably right. I'm never very good at that, to be really honest. That's my weak spot.
Okay, we got a minute and a half. We need 2 picks. Go to Aqueduct.
Okay, so where's Aqueduct? Let's go to the 5th race at Aqueduct. Race number 5, number 10, number 8, Good Penny. Yeah. I'll play the 8. I love this with in place. Then take the 8 over the 1, 3, 4, and 10. Do reverses, but the 8, Good Penny. Could be a good dollar.
All right, we got to move on. 5th race, the 8 over 1, 3, 4, and 10, and reverse. Now Santa Anita.
We'll go right to the first race, number 5. Let's get on the bandwagon. D'Amato has the Sue up. I'll take the 5 over the old 1, 2, 3.
Okay, first race, San Anita, post time 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. First race, the 5 over 1, 2, 3 in reverse. Jerry J's play the 5 in the opener. Bandwagon. Now, don't forget, you can get Jerry J Power Pages for all of Santa Anita and Aqueduct today at jerryjspowerpage.com. Well, we did it. We got all that information in there. You got plenty of to think about and talk about, that's for sure. We'll be here to wrap it up tomorrow. John, will you be with us tomorrow?
I'll join you tomorrow, Ralph.
There we go. You got to have a fantastic day at the races. And Jerry's going to tell you one more thing.
Have a great race day, everybody.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow morning.